Hello everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO weekly news update. A huge amount of things happened in the world of LEGO this week. Lots of new reveals, some rather big sets, and some really interesting stuff. 3 new projects got voted in with 10,000 votes of support for ideas, and lots of little / big stories as well, including real jail time for the boss of Lepin and a few of the associates. So yeah, lots of spicy stuff to get into this week. Before we jump into all the top stories though, first I will say the custom build that went up in the web store this week is the Battle Cruiser from StarCraft, or StarCraft 2. It's an absolutely massive model coming in at just under 6,000 pieces. The ship is incredibly well detailed. The designer Jarek did an excellent job knocking this out. Interesting side note, it scales pretty well with the custom Star Destroyer too. Once we get that out of packing, I'd like to do a side-by-side comparison. Anyways, like always, the building instructions can be found at our web store, www.brickvault.toys, linked in the description below. It's a great way to help support the channel, and now let's jump into the top stories of the week. Normally I like to get into reveals first, but this rather unexpected development about the boss of Lepin is just too big and interesting to not talk about immediately. The original article coming from Xinhua.net, and I saw it from the Brick Fan. The chief or boss was sentenced to 6 years in prison plus a 9 million yuan fine, which is equivalent to a little over 13 million US dollars for copyright infringement. And 8 other defendants also working in Lepin were sentenced to anywhere between 4.5 years to 3 years, also getting fined. They were referred to as a criminal gang, and you may have remembered that their factories got raided last April in 2019, though nobody really knew how the story was going to develop, whether it was just sort of a PR move to make it look like the law was being enforced, or if in fact real consequences were being handed down the line, and it looks like this is the case. This doesn't mean that counterfeit Lego bricks aren't still being produced. What we've noticed here at the studio is that a lot of custom builders are getting their designs ripped off now before official Lego sets, because I think it's a little bit easier for these companies to do that. And it's also pretty well known that Lepin has basically split into 3 different smaller entities, all with different names, basically do the same thing, just not on as big of a scale. So I think they're trying to stay somewhat off the radar, at least be small pickings, and hopefully not make it worth another lawsuit for Lego or for other entities. Either way, this is an interesting development. I believe China really wants to work with Lego because Lego is trying to expand their market into China, probably building more stores. There's still building 1, maybe 2 different Legolands in China right now. So I'm sure part of that agreement is that the government has decided to in fact start cracking down on some of the illegal counterfeit operations. Now, if China could start enforcing international copyright law on giant hosting sites like Shopee or AliExpress, that would certainly cut down on a lot of the illegal sales of other fake bricks. But it's interesting to see that there are indeed real consequences for some of these copycat guys out there. I'm sure many will be curious to see if more of these lawsuits will develop in the future, but at this point we simply don't know. Okay, so that was kind of the big spicy juicy story. Tons of sets got revealed this week. Coming a little late to the game, all the picks for the new Harry Potter Diagon Alley set have been revealed. Tons of reviews are already out, so I'm not going to be going through any of the logistic information from this set. Just a ton of pictures are flashing by the screen. Long story short, this set looks excellent. Lego had a very, very good idea of making it modular compatible, so now you can put the Diagon Alley within a Lego city, or maybe even just split up some of the cool, interesting buildings throughout a much larger diorama if that's what you wanted to do also. Tons of exclusive figs, sells for $400, and then 2 new sets got revealed on a South Korean Lego Facebook page. We knew the Mos Eisley Cantina was coming down the line, we just didn't know what it was going to look like. Now we do. The resolution is pretty low, so I'm going to go pretty quickly through this set. It's basically a full-size, massive Mos Eisley Cantina. It's going to come with another one of those Ubrikian 9000 land speeders, looks slightly different from the last time we got it, and the first version of a V35 Courier land speeder, which I've been waiting for a very long time. And there are a ton of minifigures. I've left the brick set article because they have a pretty good breakdown on what's going to be coming down the line for this set. Needless to say, it looks really awesome. And then also from the same Facebook page, there was the reveal of the Winter Village 2020 Elf Clubhouse set number 10275. The build for the house looks amazing. We get 4 different elf figs, a new mold for a reindeer, and though prices haven't been officially listed, it will most likely be around $100 or $99.99. So all I gotta say is kamsahamnida to the South Korean Facebook page for probably accidentally revealing some of this stuff early. And now let's jump on over to LEGO Ideas, of which there are 3 new sets that got 10,000 votes of support. First things first, the Ocean House set from Han Was Yellow First got 10,000 votes, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's not a fishing store or a certain type of hut or temple. No, it is a house that is raised up on some stilts, presumably to stay away from the tide. And stylistically, it looks a bit older, certainly not a modern house design, and it's got a somewhat Japanese aesthetic to it as well, with the style for the rooftop. The next one voted in for 10,000 is the Medieval Market by Carlierdi. During the last castle line, there was indeed a certain type of medieval marketplace, though stylistically it looked much different. In fact, based on what I'm seeing here, it does look like this medieval marketplace is kind of built like a modular city building on a 32 by 32 plate. It comes apart in a similar way by having sections that can be removed from top to bottom, which is certainly an interesting idea. I love the architecture, the colors. It would look pretty funny or interesting if you were to throw this model in with a Lego city, but there's something about the modularity option that certainly does appeal to me. Being able to maybe connect different medieval style buildings together sounds like a super fun thing to do. And then the last set that got voted in this week is the Ratatouille Reopen the Doors set from Brick Project. This seems really familiar. I have a feeling I talked about this or maybe supported it at some point in the past, and it's great to see that it got voted in for those 10,000. It's an extremely detailed model with both an interior and an exterior for one of those projects that is based on a movie IP. I think this has got some of the more high quality building and details included, and thematically, Ratatouille certainly does seem like a movie that would fit pretty well within the Lego attitude, I suppose. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about these idea sets that got voted in. Which one do you think actually has the best chance of being turned into an official Lego set? And now I'm going to slingshot past to the final stories. If you want to learn more about any of these things I'm mentioning, links to the full articles are in the description below. Brickset has the first pictures of the Universal Monsters line. It's Frankenstien of the Brickheads line. It is Batman Day on the 19th, so that is a possible time that that new unofficial UCS Batwing set might get released. There was a tease between Lego and Levi's, which is interesting. Another tease for the Lego Adidas shoe. You actually get to see a bit of the shoe this time. The financial report for the Lego company shows double-digit growth, which is no surprise. And you know what? That's just gonna be it for the Lego news. Remember, check out those links in the description below. There really is a lot more I just didn't have a chance to talk about. Top 10 mocks of the week is gonna be Monday. Check out the web store if you got time. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time at BrickVault.